Cavaliers faithful, tonight might be the night. In a season that started with so much anticipation, so much expectation, so much excitement, tonight might be our last game. And at some level, that's okay. This Cavaliers team in year one, under David Blatt, David Griffin, and LeBron James, making the finals and making the finals competitive was going to be a success. Obviously, our expectations rose, especially after the acquisitions of Timofey Mozgov, J.R. Smith, and Iman Shumpert. Our expectations rose as that juggernaut that had the combination of defense and offense went to work on the NBA and was dominant. Then Kevin Love got hurt in the first round. Kyrie Irving's injuries mounted until game one, where he went out in overtime and then it was out for the rest of the NBA Finals. And yet our expectations continue to rise with the Cavs going up 2-1 in the NBA Finals. Yet here we are going into Game 6 back in Cleveland, and the Cavs are down 3-2. So this is our preview for King James Gospel for Game 6 of the NBA Finals. A few important things that we're going to look at. Some of them are very similar to things that we've looked at in games past. Some of them are a little different. First and foremost, what do the secondary players do? Today on KingJamesGospel.com, you saw an article about Iman Shumpert, J.R. Smith, and Matthew Dellavedova. Three players who have to step up at some level for the Cavaliers. Whether that's J.R. Smith being the number 2 scorer, Iman Shumpert chipping in a couple three-pointers, and his always rugged defense, especially his ability to slap the ball out with his great hands, or Matthew Dellavedova with his defense and even creating a little bit offensively. Those three role players have an important role tonight. They have to be able to make something for the Cavs. LeBron James may play 48 minutes, but we know what we're going to get out of LeBron James. We're likely going to get 30 to 40 shots. We're likely to get 30 to 40 points, 10 plus rebounds, 10 plus assists. It's what the other guys do that can define the game. Hopefully LeBron is able to pound the ball enough to create a pace that the Cavaliers are okay with, that can set up the game the way the Cavs want it to. It'll be really interesting to see the type of offensive sets that the Cavs put out there. I agree with Jeff Van Gundy, who said anytime anyone other than Andre Iguodala is on LeBron, he would have him pound that guy in the left block. Harrison Barnes, Sean Livingston, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, all of those guys will struggle against the stronger, bigger LeBron James. When Andre Iguodala, and maybe even Draymond Green, who both have the size and enough quickness to kind of stay with LeBron, I would then put LeBron in high pick and roll, even especially some of the double pick and roll action that we've seen a couple times during the series. That'll get somebody else onto Iguodala and allow some player movement off the ball for the Cavaliers. If the Cavs can run some decent offensive sets, it can allow some of their role players to get touches early and not just the ball with 2 or 3 seconds left on the shot clock. An interesting philosophy defensively that Mike Dunleavy Sr. stated today on Sirius XM Radio was that he believes the Cavs are more likely to use a hacka strategy against Andre Iguodala and possibly some other guys to do two things. One, slow down the Warriors' offense. But the other thing it would do is allow LeBron James and the rest of the Cavs to rest. One of my biggest complaints against LeBron James not getting the foul calls that we're used to seeing a superstar get is that it doesn't allow the team, specifically LeBron, to get rest during those during those breaks in action. He can dribble a few times at the free throw line, take his time, all of that kind of stuff. It's great rest for the Cavs. It also puts LeBron James at the foul line instead of under the hoop to try to get back on defense. That same idea worked for the Cavs on defense if they want to hack Iguodala or some of the other poor free throw shooters on Golden State. I don't expect to see them do that often, but David Blatt, Tyrone Lue, and the rest of the coaching staff has to be willing to try anything tonight. That brings us to Timofey Mozgov. I'm going to pull up the stats here. In the last game, Timo How many minutes did Mozgov play? The starting center for the Cavs played 9 minutes and 19 seconds. Scored 0 points, had 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 2 fouls, 2 turnovers, and somehow a steal. The game prior, Mozgov played 33 minutes, had 28 points, 10 boards, 1 assist, 1 steal, 3 fouls, 3 turnovers. The question for the Cavs is, do they decide to stick with Timo? Mozgov struggled when the Warriors would double team him in the last game. Is he able to make adjustments offensively? If he is, the Cavs can make the Warriors pay for going small. It also begs the question of, will the Cavs stick with their big lineup with Tristan Thompson and Mozgov on the floor at the same time? It is with that lineup that the Cavs were able to dominate on the glass, as well as down low, create a lot of problems, specifically foul trouble, for the Warriors. Do the Cavs choose to go big, where in game 4 they had Mozgov on the floor for 33 minutes and Tristan Thompson on the floor for 38 minutes? Or do they go back to what they did in last game, which was Mozgov on the floor for 9 and only Tristan on the floor for 39? So those minutes did not go to Mozgov. Or do they go small? Do they try to match up with the Warriors? The Cavs have a tough decision to make. The Cavs were close going small. They got blown out into a double-digit loss in the fourth quarter, but that had a lot to do with poor offense and poor boxing out. They were tired. So the Cavs showed that they can compete big and small. What direction do they choose to go? Do they choose to try to go big early, go small later, or vice versa? How do they get creative with their minutes? That'll be a big part of the game. And finally, the last key for tonight in our NBA preview of Game 6 of the NBA Finals between the Cavs and Warriors is the crowd. There's been some notes that the secondary market, there's been a lot of tickets on the market. And those that were at the last Cavs games, games 3 and 4, talked about how great the crowd was. Those of us watching on TV heard a different crowd. We saw a different crowd. Those in the lower bowl sat most of the game. This is Game 6 of the NBA Finals. If the Cavs lose, the season is over. Cleveland has not had a professional championship in 51 years. It's about 3 hours. You can sit down during halftime, in between quarters, and during timeouts. And you can sit in traffic after the game. I implore, beg, plead, whatever other word you want, with anyone going to the game tonight. Stand up, put your phone away, make lots of noise. I don't care what the noise is, make it. You do make a difference for the Cavs. You give them energy, especially the role players. You help push referees' calls towards the home team. And you can cause problems with the Warriors trying to communicate with each other. You are the sixth man. You can play a huge difference. I beg you, Cavalier faithful, be all in tonight. Be there. Don't sit down when the Warriors go on a run. Don't just stand up when there's a big dunk or a three-pointer. Be loud all the time. You don't need a reason to be loud. You're at Game 6 of the NBA Finals. That is reason enough. My name is Jared Mueller. You can follow me at Jared K. Mueller on Twitter. You can also follow the site. It's at KJG Cavaliers. I'll be providing video analysis via the Periscope app in between every quarter and at the end of the game. We are all in here at KingJamesGospel.com. We have 8 or 9 articles up for you already today and probably more. The question is, Cleveland, are you all in? Are you ready to lay it all on the line, just like our players have this entire series? Let's go, Cavs. Let's be all in, Cleveland.